Isn't it strange how a man can work every day, rise with the sun, stay up late, and still end up broke? Isn't it puzzling how two people with the same job, same hours, same city, one builds wealth like a river and the other drowns in pennies? I used to think life was unfair. Then I discovered life doesn't pay you for effort. It pays you for understanding. The moment you understand the rules of wealth, the game changes. And I'm here to tell you, wealth doesn't trickle in. Wealth can flow like crazy, but only if you're ready to become the kind of person it chases. Let me take you back to a moment in my life when everything seemed still, not quiet in the peaceful sense, but stuck. Same job, same habits, same thoughts. I was working hard, showing up every day, but somehow nothing was growing. One day it hit me. I wasn't poor because I lacked effort. I was poor because I lacked change. I was addicted to familiarity. And that's the first trap to escape. If you ever want wealth to flow like crazy, do something different or stay the same forever. The universe doesn't reward comfort. It rewards motion. I recall what Heraclitus said centuries ago, asterisk. No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it is not the same river and he is not the same man. Asterisk, life is moving, whether you do or not. That means if you don't change, you're automatically falling behind. One day, I looked around and realized I had surrounded myself with people who had the same complaints year after year. And here's the dangerous part. I had started to sound just like them. So I made a decision, not a dramatic one, just a consistent one. I picked up new books that challenged my thinking. I started tracking my time and my money, and it shocked me how much of both I was wasting. I changed who I listened to, who I spent time with, even how I talk to myself. I replaced the phrase, I can't, with how can I? People think doing something different means quitting your job and running off to a new city. Not always. Sometimes it means finally waking up an hour earlier, or saying no to a small pleasure so you can say yes to a bigger purpose. Wealth is not just money, it's motion. And motion requires intention, asterisk. If you don't like your results, don't argue with them. Change the behavior that produced them. Because if nothing changes, nothing flows. People often ask, how do I make more money? And I say, you don't get paid for your time. You get paid for the value you bring to the marketplace. Time is equal. Every person gets 24 hours, but the marketplace doesn't reward you for the hours. It rewards you for what you do with them. I used to earn a few dollars an hour stacking shelves, and I worked hard, real hard. But then I met a man who earned more in a single hour than I made in a whole week. It made me pause. He wasn't taller than me, stronger than me, or even smarter than me in the academic sense. But he brought more value in 1 hour than I was bringing in 10. That's when the light came on. If I wanted to earn more, I had to become more asterisk. I remembered a line from Socrates who said, asterisk. The way to gain a good reputation is to endeavor to be what you desire to appear. Asterisk. If I wanted to be valued more, I had to develop the skills and character that commanded that value. So I studied sales, communication, leadership, human behavior. I practiced until my words could move people, my thoughts could solve problems, and my service could make a difference. The man who becomes a better thinker, a better planner, a better problem solver, he becomes worth more. And when you become worth more, you earn more. The market isn't mean or unfair. It's just reflective. It mirrors back to you the value you put in. Don't chase money. Increase your value until money starts chasing you. Asterisk. A janitor who sees every mop as a brush of pride and every hallway as a stage for excellence is on his way to owning the building one day. Not because of time, but because of what he brings to that time. So if you want wealth to flow like crazy, stop counting hours, start increasing value. When I first started in the world of business and personal growth, I made the mistake so many make. I chased success like it was some wild animal I had to capture. I ran from one opportunity to another, from one book to the next, from one idea to the next, thinking that speed alone would bring me results. But I learned quickly, success isn't something you chase. It's something you attract by the person you become. Asterisk. Think about the farmer. He doesn't chase the harvest. He prepares the soil, sows the seed, waters the ground, and tends the crop. And when the time is right, the harvest comes to him. Asterisk. That's how success works. You prepare your mindset, sow good habits, water them with consistency, and protect them from the weeds of doubt and laziness. Then, over time, the harvest of success arrives because you became the type of person who naturally attracts it. Asterisk. This idea changed everything for me. I stopped running and started growing. I stopped reaching and started becoming. Wealth, happiness, relationships, influence, all of it is attracted to the person who disciplines themselves, sharpens their character, and invests in their daily routine. Aristotle once said, asterisk, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Asterisk. That habit forms the kind of person you are. And the kind of person you are determines what flows into your life. I remember when I shifted from trying to make a sale to trying to become a person worthy of trust and respect suddenly. The sales started to flow. Not because I was pushing harder, but because I had grown into someone people wanted to do business with. You want wealth to flow like crazy? Then don't chase it. Grow into the kind of person to whom wealth is naturally drawn. Let success find you tending the garden of your mind, your attitude, and your actions. Because in the end, it's not about the pursuit. It's about becoming the magnet. One of the greatest turning points in my life came when I realized this simple truth. Profits are better than wages. Now, don't misunderstand me. Wages are honorable. Trading your time and skills for income is noble, and for many, it's the starting place. But if that's where you stop, you'll always live within the limits someone else has placed on your worth. Wages will make you a living, yes, and that's good. But profits can make you a fortune. And that's better. Asterisk. I remember my early years, showing up every day, putting in the hours, waiting for that end of month paycheck. It was steady, but it was small, predictable, but limited. Then I got introduced to the world of enterprise, where ideas, initiative, and a little courage could turn a few dollars into thousands. That's when the lights came on for me. I discovered that while wages are fixed, profits are flexible. They grow as you grow. Take the example of the baker. He can earn wages working for someone else's bakery, or he can build his own. Maybe he starts small baking from home, delivering locally. At first, it may earn less than a job, but if he's wise, consistent, and adds value, that bakery can grow into a brand. And suddenly, he's not just earning a wage, he's earning a return on his courage, his effort, and his vision. As Seneca said, asterisk, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor. Asterisk, the man chasing wages alone is always craving more because there's a cap. But the man who learns to generate profit, he's building a river, not just a cup. Profit is wealth flowing through ideas and effort and enterprise. And it can grow as far as your imagination and discipline will allow. So make your living with wages if you must, but never forget, your fortune lies in profits. That's where true financial freedom begins to flow. There was a time when I used to blame everything outside of me for what was going wrong in my life. The economy, the government, the taxes, the weather. I thought if these things would just change, I could change. But then came the truth that turned everything around. Your income is not dictated by the economy, it's dictated by your philosophy. Asterisk, asterisk. Not the world outside, but the world inside. You see, two people can live in the same city, under the same economy, in the same industry, and one becomes wealthy while the other struggles. Why? Because it's never truly about the external conditions, it's about the internal conclusions. The decisions you make, the beliefs you hold, and the disciplines you practice are what shape your results. I remember during a downturn, while everyone was talking recession, one of my mentors said to me, there are always two economies, the national one and the one you build for yourself. That changed everything for me. I stopped watching the news for direction and started watching my habits. I stopped blaming and started building. I used to think that success was something you stumbled into, that maybe if you worked hard enough and got lucky, it would find you. But the truth is, success is built. And the foundation, it's knowledge. It's wisdom. It's standing tall on the books you read, the thoughts you feed your mind, and the ideas you allow to shape your life. I can trace the turning point in my life back to the day someone handed me a book, just a simple book. But that one book led to another, and that next book cracked open a new world inside me. Suddenly, I was having conversations in my mind with the greatest thinkers who ever lived, Marcus Aurelius, Solomon, Seneca, even the prophet Solomon, who said, wisdom is more precious than rubies. And let me tell you, once you taste wisdom, ignorance becomes bitter. You can't build wealth with an empty head. A man who doesn't read is no better off than a man who can't. And if you're still trying to fix million-dollar problems with 10-cent thinking, it's time to upgrade your library. I once met a man who was stuck in the same routine for 20 years. Same job, same pay, same complaints. I asked him what he was reading. He said, I don't have time for books. I told him, that's why your life doesn't change. Because your mind doesn't. The mind, like a muscle, only grows when it's fed and stretched. And books, they're the gym for your mind. I remember when I was broke, not just in money, but in mindset. I was always asking, what can I get? What do I deserve? And I was frustrated because the answer never seemed to change. But everything started turning around when I changed the question to, what can I become? That question wakes you up. It stirs something deep inside. Because if you become more valuable, more disciplined, more insightful, the world cannot help but respond. Epictetus once said, Asterisk. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Asterisk. That's ancient wisdom, but it's never been more relevant. Don't wish for success become someone success is drawn to. Don't wish for wealth become someone wealth naturally sticks to. That kind of becoming takes effort. It takes study, practice, sacrifice, and often silence. But the reward? Oh, it's more than money. It's identity. It's power. It's peace. I knew a young man once who wanted to be rich by 30. He had it all mapped out: income goals, investment targets, properties. But he never worked on himself, never read, never listened, never changed. And he wondered why life didn't hand him what he was aiming for, because he was aiming for things not for transformation. And wealth doesn't come to the one who wants, it comes to the one who becomes. When you fall in love with becoming wiser, stronger, more disciplined, more aware, something remarkable happens. You no longer need to chase success. It finds you, because the world always pays those who've paid the price to transform. And when you commit to that level of growth, that's when wealth will flow like crazy. So here we are, standing at the edge of a decision. Not just about money, but about who you're willing to become. Because wealth isn't a mystery, and it's not a miracle. It's a result. It's the natural harvest of a life intentionally sown with discipline, learning, value, and vision. If you want wealth to flow like crazy, then you must become the kind of person who can handle that flow, who can build the dam, channel the river, and multiply what arrives. The truth is, you can change everything, not by wishing for better days, but by becoming better yourself. Don't wait for the government, your boss, or some stroke of luck to change your future. You are the architect. You are the author. You are the reason wealth either finds you or passes you by. So here's my call to action. Take inventory of your life, your habits, your thinking. Tear up what's no longer serving you. Study, serve, build value, and above all, don't just dream, decide. Asterisk. Decide to live the kind of life that demands reward. Because when you do that, wealth won't be something you chase. It'll be something that flows to you like crazy.